Hi, I'm Orcenith Smith, the music director of the Philharmonic Orchestra of Indianapolis, the city's largest volunteer orchestra. And I have with me right now our new executive director, Katie McDermitt, brings to us a wonderful new set of experiences in her background as we talk about our programming for this upcoming concert, May the 17th at Pike Performing Arts Center. So, Katie, welcome.
Orcenith, tell me, how did we arrive at these particular selections for this concert?
Well, I think the way I always look for what we do on each of our events, because truly they are events for us, is to consider a programming angle that maybe hasn't been utilized before. So as I kind of thought about this America 250 program, I thought, well, I think Lincoln Portrait says a lot with the quotes of Abraham Lincoln. And then I was listening to a lot of different kinds of music, and I heard a piece by Carlos Simon, who he was commissioned by the Boston Symphony in 2022 to write a new work, and he chose the elements of something called Four Black American Dances. And so he chose four different kinds of dances that the Black community has gone through in the course of the history. And so then those were kind of the outer signposts. And then I needed something reflective to kind of establish, since both of them are stronger pieces dynamically, that I needed something reflective in the middle. Then that wasn't quite enough. So I decided that I'd go search for some more. So the search turned up a piece called Prayer and Celebration by Augusta Reed Thomas. And it was a celebration of a school. And it's a very intimate work that is very prayer-like at the beginning, and then it celebrates very thoughtfully at the end. And then the other work that I discovered is by a Native American composer, Jared Tate. His middle name is Impechechaha, which means tall corn bin. And he's from the Chickasaw Nation. And the piece that we're doing is called Chief Red Bloom and the Medicine Wheel, which is, the Medicine Wheel is out in Wyoming. So it's a very spiritual piece in a different kind of way, but it has rhythms, that has different harmonies that are not expected. So it makes a good set of pieces. And I'm happy that we're able to present them on May 17th.
Yeah. And just as a musician and also, a citizen of the United States, reflecting on, our country's 250-year history, the thing that, strikes me is that it is a big country with a lot of people with a lot of different perspectives over the years. And so really it seems very special that we're able to kind of put together a program that tries to honor all of those perspectives.
Yes. Well, and I appreciate exactly what you're saying, and I would say that part of what crossed my mind was, well, should we have marches? Should we have other things like that are patriotic? We do that kind of thing in the summertime with our park concert at Garfield. But I think that the subscription concerts, as we call them, are a different magnitude, or have the potential to look at things artistically in a different way. They're more intimate settings because we're in a closed space as opposed to being outside. So I was honored to be able to try to find the things, and that was part of the challenge, was find things that would work well together, allow each of the personalities of the pieces to be heard without being affected by the others.
So one of the pieces on the program, Lincoln Portrait by Aaron Copland, actually features a speaking part. So that's, outside of your typical orchestral instrumentation. So how does that affect, how we piece everything together, how we rehearse it, and what effect do you think it has on the piece overall?
Well, it was written in 1942 at a very unique time in the history of Aaron Copland's own writing. He wrote Fanfare for the Common Man about the same time. He was starting to write his cowboy ballets. He was transitioning from his own kind of European study to finding an American sound. And he came upon this idea to honor Abraham Lincoln and set about finding quotes that were significant by Lincoln. And so the piece, Lincoln Portrait, has a huge, big orchestral introduction that is very majestic, and but it also establishes that there was conflict during Lincoln's tenure, of course, as president, including the Civil War. And so it boils down then to these wonderful quotes that are set across musical phrases. And we have a very dynamic narrator, Sondra Hayes, who is in our first violin section, who has narrated a number of works that we've done before. And so I enlisted her to do this. And it's complicated because the narrator has to keep track of what's happening in the music to position their lines exactly in the right place. And Sondra does a great job. And so the narration ebbs and flows, but it fits the music, and it is the most dramatic when the music is most dramatic.
I just had another question for any of our audience members out there. What would you say you hope they kind of leave with, or what you're hoping that they'll be able to kind of get from this concert?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think I talk with my students at the university about what programming represents, and it is about making contact with your audience and connecting with them. And I think it would be that all of this music is a testament to what kind of America represents, the freedom of choice, the freedom to live, the freedom to write. And all of this music is very personal. And I think that's what I want the audience to take away, is that they've had a very personal experience in connection with these 5 different pieces, and they may come away with different feelings for each of them, and that's just fine. So I've been talking today with the new executive director of the Philharmonic Orchestra of Indianapolis, Katie McDermitt. Thank you, Katie, for sharing some time with me about our upcoming program, America 250. We hope you can join us Sunday, May the 17th at 3 p.m. at the Pike Performing Arts Center for the Philharmonic and America 250.